During his first term, President Ronald Reagan faces the threat of global terrorism. Korean Airlines Flight 007 is shot down by the Soviet Union on September 1, 1983. Among the 269 on board is over 60 Americans. On October 23rd, members of the multinational force in Lebanon stage a suicide run with 2 trucks driven into troop barracks. 58 French paratroopers and 241 American Marines are killed in this jihad. Barely more than a week before, there is trouble on the island of Grenada.
Grenada and a half dozen other Caribbean islands here were until recently British colonies. They're now independent states and members of the British Commonwealth. While they respect each other's independence, they also feel a kinship with each other and think of themselves as one people. In 1979, trouble came to Grenada. Maurice Bishop, a protege of Fidel Castro, staged a military coup and overthrew the government which had been elected under the Constitution left to the people by the British. He sought the help of Cuba in building an airport, which he claimed was for tourist trade, but which looked suspiciously suitable for military aircraft, including Soviet-built long-range bombers. The 6 sovereign countries and 1 remaining colony are joined together in what they call the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. The 6 became increasingly alarmed as Bishop built an army greater than all of theirs combined.
When Bishop is ousted by his communist deputy prime minister, Bernard Couard, President Ronald Reagan is alarmed.
On October 12th, a small group in his militia seized him and put him under arrest. They were, if anything, more radical and more devoted to Castro's Cuba than he had been. Several days later, a crowd of citizens appeared before Bishop's home, freed him, and escorted him toward the headquarters of the military council. They were fired upon. A number, including some children, were killed and Bishop was seized. There were then about 1,000 of our citizens on Grenada, 800 of them students in St. George's University Medical School. Concerned that they'd be harmed or held as hostages, I ordered a flotilla of ships then on its way to Lebanon with Marines, part of our regular rotation program, to circle south on a course that would put them somewhere in the vicinity of Grenada in case there should be a need to evacuate our people. Last weekend, I was awakened in the early morning hours and told that 6 members of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, joined by Jamaica and Barbados, had sent an urgent request that we join them in a military operation to restore order and democracy to Grenada. They were proposing this action under the terms of a treaty, a mutual assistance pact that existed among them. These small, peaceful nations needed our help. 3 of them don't have armies at all, and the others have very limited forces. The legitimacy of their request, plus my own concern for our citizens, dictated my decision. I believe our government has a responsibility to go to the aid of its citizens if their right to life and liberty is threatened. The nightmare of our hostages in Iran must never be repeated. We knew we had little time and that complete secrecy was vital to ensure both the safety of the young men who would undertake this mission and the Americans they were about to rescue. The Joint Chiefs worked around the clock to come up with a plan. They had little intelligence information about conditions on the island. We had to assume that several hundred Cubans working on the airport could be military reserves. Well, as it turned out, the number was much larger, and they were a military force.
Dubbed Operation Urgent Fury, U.S. Special Forces will play a key role in the operation. With poor intelligence, the most recent map available to National Security Council's Special Situation Group, U.S. Army Rangers of the 75th Ranger Regiment Joint Task Force 123, led by Army Major General Richard Schultz, will parachute in from MC-130s to capture the unfinished Salines runway. Marines will seize Pearl's airport after coming on shore via Navy Amphibious Squadron 4, led by Captain Carl Erie. It is 0500 hours on October 25, 1983, when Operation Urgent Fury finally launches, 3 hours past the original launch time. SEAL Team 4 and SEAL Team 6 will recon the Point Salines airfield and surrounding beaches of the Pearl Airport, capture the radio station to cut off any calls for reinforcement, and perhaps most importantly, rescue deposed British Governor General Sir Paul Scone from his house arrest. SEAL Team 6 sends in 8 operatives by Black Hawk helicopter to seize the radio station at Beausejour. They secure the station, but after fighting emerging Grenadian forces, are forced to withdraw to the beach to escape by sea. Point Salines is a disaster. 4 members of Team 6 are lost at sea, a combination of waterborne parachuting into darkness and an excess of gear, some to the weight of 100 pounds. As the surviving SEALs move forward in their boats, they encounter a Grenadian patrol boat and are forced to turn back. Another attempt the next day finds the SEALs encountering another patrol boat and then left drifting at sea from a faulty engine. SEAL Team 6 is successful in saving the former governor after rappelling down from a helicopter. Their cunning and training allow them to hold off the governor's home until reinforcements are finally able to get through. 2 Marine Cobra gunships are shot down by Grenadian forces. The SEALs are also pinned in by fire from 2 AC-130 gunships. The Marines are able to arrive the next day and reinforce the brave contingent of SEALs. Learning the runway at Point Salines is blocked with vehicles, the Rangers are forced to parachute in from a mere 500 feet. Knowing they will be exposed to Grenadian fire, they bravely jump out at 0534 hours. A company, 175th, led by Captain John Abizade, hotwires a bulldozer to clear the runway. In less than 7 hours, the runway is secured, and American troops are brought in per a C-141 Starlifter. An attempt to free political prisoners from the Richmond Hill prison brings 5 MH-60A Black Hawk helicopters bearing Delta Force operatives, but later than planned. Losing the element of surprise, the operation is frustratingly scrubbed in light of ground fire. The invasion comes fast and fierce, with 5,000 American troops descending upon the island. American forces find enough weapons to arm 10,000 men, from small arms to anti-aircraft guns and shoulder-mounted rocket launchers, to howitzers and armored vehicles. At the end, the United States procure the country and help instill an interim government. The cost is 59 Cubans killed, with 25 wounded. The remainder are sent back to Havana. 45 Grenadians are killed, with 337 wounded. 19 U.S. troops are killed, with 119 wounded. Special forces were at the forefront, paving the way for the rest to come in. With Grenada secured, Cuba is denied another conduit for smuggling arms to boost communism. And the medical students are saved, able to fly home from the runway taken by American forces. Grenada is invaded within 2 months, with an interim government paving the way for a newly elected prime minister.
Grenada, we were told, was a friendly island paradise for tourism. Well, it wasn't. It was a Soviet-Cuban colony being readied as a major military bastion to export terror and undermine democracy. We got there just in time. I can't say enough in praise of our military, Army Rangers and paratroopers, Navy, Marine, and Air Force personnel, those who planned a brilliant campaign and those who carried it out.
But there are still concerns with the efficiency and operation of the various Special Forces teams. Both Eagle Claw and Urgent Fury make it abundantly clear a spirit of joint cooperation between Special Forces is required.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help us produce more compelling historical content like this, please like, comment below, and share this video with fellow history buffs. And of course, be sure to subscribe to help keep history happening.